Chapter 3. Flitting like black shadows, one tall, spindly one, and a shorter, stockier one, John and his father stole down the Wind. They ran, stumbling over loose stones, splashing through mud and puddles, the still stormy wind plucking at their clothes, and came up, at last, into the new part of the city, where wide streets and squares marched away north towards the sea. "Wait, father!" panted John. "Stop a minute. Where are we going, anyway?" Patrick had been plunging on down the road, the wooden chest bumping against his back. But he came back and set it down on the ground, and straightened himself, flexing his cramped shoulders. "Leith. The port of Leith. By sea to London. On the Leith smack." "London!" John's mouth fell open. He had never imagined he would ever, in his whole life, go anywhere so far away. "Why, father? Why London?" We have an aunt in London," panted Patrick, his chest heaving. "Only surviving relative. Difficult woman, who knows? Probably has a heart of gold. A house in Shoreditch. Blood thicker than water. She'll see what trouble we're in. Bound to take us in." "London," repeated John, turning the idea over in his mind. The awful blind panic in his head was subsiding. It was good to have a plan, however wild it sounded. "How far is it to Leith?" he said, trying not to sound like he was complaining. "Only my feet are sore and I'm awfully hungry." "The pork pie!" exclaimed Patrick cheerfully. He looked nervously over his shoulder as he spoke. "Brace up, Johnny. It's only 1.5 miles to Leith, no more. With the pie inside us, we'll fly." They ate fast, cramming the succulent pie into their mouths. "We'll keep the ham for later," Patrick said indistinctly, licking his fingers and picking up the chest again. "We must hurry on now. Creature's a clever man. He'll be sending men out in all directions." They set off again at a fast pace, filled with new energy. "Why does Mr. Naismith hate us so much?" asked John, trotting to keep up. "Why has he treated us so badly?" "I've thought and thought about it," replied Patrick. "It puzzles me, John, more than I can say." They paused for a moment to look back up the long, straight road. It was reassuringly empty. "It can only be for the house itself. I know we love Luxton, but it's small. Only a few rooms piled on top of each other in the old tower. It's strong, of course. Fortified. You know how thick the walls are, 6 feet at least. And the door's so massive it's a struggle even to open. It could withstand anyone coming upon it to cause trouble. And then there's the wee bay, sheltered from the sea. A boat can come up there and be well hidden. At the time, there's a great view from Luxton. A man can stand on the headland and count all the ships coming and going, in and out at the port of Leith. I can only imagine that there's some strange business the man's engaged in, something murderous and secret. But what it is, I just don't know." The road to Leith, which was crowded with carriages, carts, and pedestrians during the day, was deserted at this late hour. But John's ears caught the unwelcome sound of a horse's hoofs approaching from behind them. Patrick had heard them too. He grasped John's arm and pulled him down behind a flight of steps that led up to the front door of one of the houses fronting the road. They crouched, motionless in the shadow. As the rider passed, they could make out in the dark only a rough shape, a figure wrapped in a heavy coat, with a hat pulled down low over his eyes. They waited till the faint outline had been swallowed up by the night before they dared come out of their hiding place. And then they set off again at their former rapid pace. John had been thinking furiously as he huddled against his father behind the steps. Surely it'd be better, Father, if we just went back and told everyone it wasn't you who killed that man, that it was Mr. Naismith. It would, Johnny, but unfortunately they might not believe us. Mr. Creech would swear that I was the murderer, and that Harriet has the money to pay for the most expensive lawyers. The girl, though, she'd speak for us. Maybe. But it would be her word against Creech's, and he's a man of influence. It's wicked, it's wrong, it's unfair, John burst out. Don't waste your energy on anger, said Patrick, his voice unusually harsh. I've spent night after night consumed with it. We're in a pickle, Johnny. We need to concentrate now on how we can get out of it. John swallowed hard. What'll happen if they catch us, Father? He resisted the temptation to move closer into his father's long shadow. What'll they do to us? Oh, it'll be the Tolbooth prison, no less. Patrick's voice had suddenly lightened. His spirits, always mercurial, seemed to have risen again. For me, mind you, not for you. And then what, Father? I'll escape, of course. You won't. You won't be able to. He thought, but he didn't say it. And I'll be alone. They had passed the forbidding old prison that lowered over Edinburgh's high street only yesterday. No one, Johnny knew, could ever get out of it once they were locked away inside its heavy stone towers, behind its iron-bound doors and its high barred windows. No, it'll be easy, Johnny, you'll see, with a little help from yourself. But there's no need to worry about the Tolbooth. No one will catch us. We'll get safe down to London and live the life of princes in Shoreditch with your Auntie Sarah. Take one look at us and love us like the long-lost relatives we are.